What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 5, Episode 15, Family Manners. Let's get started with the couple of the hour, Sarper and Shekinah. Sarper and Shekinah remind me of Will and Jada Pinkett Smith in the sense that with Will and Jada, the memes, all the commentary on social media about, free will. Everybody is saying all these horrible negative things about Jada, how horribly she's treating Will. And, Will needs to leave that marriage because, she doesn't love him. She doesn't appreciate him. She's embarrassing him, etc., etc. Y'all, Will Smith is exactly where he wants to be. Okay, he is exactly where he wants to be. Don't feel sorry for Will. Don't start the whole free Will campaign. Will Smith is exactly where he wants to be. Just like Shekinah. Shekinah is exactly where she wants to be because she has been with this man before. She's been to Turkey before. And I'm not going to believe that Sarper was any better the first time she visited Turkey than what he is now. He probably was even worse then because he was still seeing other women then. So the fact that, her sister is feeling so sorry for her and her sister is trying to protect her, she kind of even said it herself because right before her sister arrived, her and Sarper had a conversation and it was basically like a pep talk. And she was telling Sarper, when my sister gets here, don't talk about how you're trying to make me into the most beautiful woman in the world. Don't talk about, how you're trying to fix my hair and you're trying to fix my wardrobe and you're always checking my weight and you're telling me what to eat. Don't talk about any of that. She says, I like it. Did y'all hear her say that? She says, I like it, but she's not going to understand. Other people are not going to understand what this is. So don't talk about all that stuff in front of my sister. So she's exactly where she wants to be. I wish her sister would realize that and just sit back and enjoy your time in Turkey and not worry about and not worry about Sarper and what he's doing and how he's acting and how he's controlling. Sarper is the man that Shekinah has been looking for her whole entire life. Okay, so let's get into it here. Okay, so Shariah, the sister, arrives in Turkey. They talk about they're in their apartment that Sarper and Shekinah are sharing, and Sarper is preparing dinner for the two women. And the sister notices in his liquor cabinet, he's got like a ton of liquor bottles. And so Shariah wants to know, the story behind the liquor bottles. And he says, they're all empty. There's nothing in them. And it's just bottles that I've collected over the years. And so Shariah and Shekinah are trying to imply that he's keeping these bottles as mementos of times that he shared with women, like, when he was with certain women and whatever they were drinking at the time. And so he ended up keeping the bottle. So these are mementos that remind him of moments that he has spent with certain women throughout his life. And so Shekinah tells him, well, I don't like it and I want you to get rid of the bottles. And he's like, I'm not going to get rid of the bottles. I'm not going to do that. So then they talk about social media. Sarper says that when Shekinah is texting, she's acting like a slut. I really couldn't understand what he meant by that. I don't know if because he thinks that I don't know what he meant by that. So he was like, yeah, whenever she's texting, she's acting like a slut. And the sister Shariah is like, excuse me, she's acting like a what? And Sarper, he wasn't mincing words. He was mincing that meat, but he wasn't mincing words. He was saying, yeah, she's acting like a slut. And Shariah says, you're calling my sister a slut? And Sarper says, okay, maybe not a slut, but she's acting like a bitch. And then Shekinah's like, I've never in my life had anybody call me a slut or a B word. Really, girl? Are you serious? Are you for real? So Shariah then brings up Sarper's DMs. And so Sarper says that he's not hiding anything in the DMs. It's just that that's his own private business and he's not going to let anybody look at them. It doesn't mean that he's hiding anything. It just means that, it's my business. It's private. You're not going to show me your underwear because that's private to you. So I'm not going to show you my DMs because that's private to me. So the sister is like, well, yeah, you're in a relationship with Shekinah, but you're not in a relationship with me. So let me go ahead and see what's in your DMs. And he's like, no, I'm not going to show you what's in my DMs. So Sarper right now he's really tense. Okay, he's like a contained volcano because he is extremely tense. You can tell that he's about to explode. Excuse me. So Shariah, she's decided that she's had enough of this, and so she wants to leave before the meal is even made. And so Sarper tells the sister, well, you're really cute, but you do talk too much. And Shariah's like, okay, I'm out of here. And Shekinah's looking at Sarper. And she's like, Sarper, you're just going to let her leave like that? You're not going to say anything to her? What do you want him to say to her? And so Shekinah is playing this game when she's with her sister. She knows that Sarper is problematic. And so she doesn't want her sister or anybody else to think that she doesn't see the red flags in Sarper. So she's going to address them when she's talking to her sister. He's too controlling. He has a lot of secrets. He's been with a lot of women. He's this, he's that. Just to let the sister know, I'm not stupid. I'm aware. I see all of this. But she has no intentions of leaving him. And with Sarper, whenever he's like weighing her and he's controlling her, yeah, baby, I know, baby, I understand, baby. You want me to be the most beautiful woman in the world. Yes, baby, I'll stay within a certain weight. Yes, baby, I'll do my hair like this and I'll wear this and and then she's kind of like playing she's playing this game with these people. And so they hate each other. Right? They absolutely hate each other because Sarper thinks that the sister is too much in their business. The sister thinks that, oh, my poor sister, she's being controlled by this awful guy. And here's Shekinah in the middle, loving it all this attention being poured on her. So the sister ends up walking out and she's leaving. And I was watching this and I'm just like, Shariah, girl, give me a call. Let me tell you the what's up. Let me give you the what's up. Stop wasting your time with trying to protect your sister. Your sister is exactly where she wants to be. This is the man that she really wants to be with all of his faults, all of his flaws, all of his controlling ways, him pulling out the scale every single morning to weigh her, all of this crazy stuff that he's doing. This is what Shekinah likes. This is what she thrives on. She loves being controlled. You know how some women, if a man is abusive to them, like physically abusive to them, that's like a sign of love. Or for some women, if a man gets like extremely jealous and he you can't have a phone. He has to like look into your phone all the time. He has to control who your friends are. He has to control, who you're like, how often you go see your family and who you're talking to and where you're going. And, he sneaks up on you at work. He just pops up out of nowhere whenever you're at work. Those very controlling men who are constantly stalking you and following you. And they have to know what you're doing every second of the day. And they're calling you 100 times a day. Some women think that's love. That extreme jealousy and insecurity, to them, that's a sign of love. And with Shekinah, him controlling her looks and her appearance and her body, to her, that's love. It's very dysfunctional. It's very unhealthy. It's not right at all. It's scary. Okay. It's very scary. But for Shekinah, this is what she sees as, he must love me and I must be beautiful, because a man like him, he has to have the creme de la creme of women. He has to have the top notch of women, the Versace of women, the Louis Vuitton of women. And that is me. So, the way he is with her, to us, it's like, oh my God, girl, you need to leave that relationship. No, she's happy. Shekinah is very, very happy. She's very, very content. Moving on to Johan and Danielle. So they arrive at the life coach's office, and Danielle says to us in her confessional that she needs someone to point out to Johan all the things that he's doing wrong in the relationship. What about you, girl? Are you Miss Perfect? You have absolutely no faults at all. You don't contribute at all to the dysfunctionality of this relationship. So Danielle says to the life coach that, she always has to take the lead. That's the kind of man that she's with, where she has to be the one, she's got to be the one in control because he doesn't do anything. He doesn't have any initiative. He has no motivation. She's the one that always has to take control of the situation. And she's so tired of constantly taking the lead. So it's not because you love to emasculate your man. It's not because any idea that he expresses to you, you constantly shoot it down. You make him feel like it's the most stupidest thing that you've ever heard in your life. Whatever idea he has to make more money, to live a better life in his mind, it doesn't matter if I agree with Johan or if I don't agree with Johan, but in his mind, he's thinking of ways to improve their situation. And whatever he says to her, she just shoots it down. Oh, that's stupid. How can we do this? We don't have this. How am I supposed to buy a house for $30,000 and all of this, anything that he's got to say, Danielle automatically shoots it down. But then she complains to the life coach that she constantly has to take the lead. So Johan says that, he says that Danielle is, she goes back on her word a lot, and he can't trust anything that she says because she makes all of these grand promises about how wonderful life is going to be in the Dominican Republic for the both of them. That life in the Dominican is going to be a whole lot better than life in the United States, and he's still waiting to see it happen. So she hasn't delivered on anything that she said, on anything that she's promised him. So Johan says that, she promised this, ideal life in the DR, and he's yet to see it. Johan said that Danielle told him to stay home and take care of the dog. And Danielle was like, I would never say that to a man. I need you to contribute more. What's it going to look like for me to tell you that you don't have to work and I just want you to stay home while I, busting my butt out there making money for us? I would never tell a man that. So Johan is like, you did say that. You did say that. And he was like, adamant. He was 10 toes deep with that. He was like, you did say that. You told me that you just want me to stay home and take care of the damn dog. And so then Danielle says, well, if I did say that, then you must have misunderstood. It was a misunderstanding between us. I think she said that probably she was being really sarcastic when she felt like maybe in her mind he really wasn't trying hard enough. And she probably was like, why don't you just stay home and take care of the damn dog? And he took it literally. So Danielle tells him, I need to see more action from you. Less talk, more action. And Johan was like, say less. If you want action, I'm going to show you action. So Danielle, you've already told him you want action. Johan, he is ready to go. He's ready to show you exactly what he wants to do. So don't poo-poo on his ideas. Don't pick apart whatever plans he has. Just go along with it because you wanted action and he's about to show you some actions. So I hope you're just going to go along with it. Just go with the flow because, you know what they say, be careful with what you wish for. You may just get it. Moving on to Brandon and Mary. So they're still talking to Lolo, Mary's grandfather, when they were talking about how they argue too much and Brandon doesn't help around a lot. And Lolo was saying it's really embarrassing for me because the whole entire neighborhood can hear the two of you yelling and screaming at each other. And I don't understand why I have to be like this. And my granddaughter's pregnant and etc. So Brandon realizes, how, maybe he has not been the best. So he makes all these promises that he's going to change. He's going to argue less with Mary and that he's going to help around a whole lot more. Brandon then asks Lolo for Mary's hand in marriage. And Lolo was like, well, damn, the girl's already pregnant. What the hell do you want me to say? No? Hell yeah, I want you to marry her. I give my permission for you to marry my granddaughter because you already knocked her up. So he says that maybe if they got married, Lolo says that maybe if they got married, their relationship will improve. Lolo is so adorable. He's so adorable. Marriage is probably going to make it about 10 times worse. But what can you do? The baby's going to come one way or the other. So what the hell can you do in this situation? They're basically stuck with one another. So they might as well make it legit. So, it meant a lot for Mary, for Brandon to ask for her hand in marriage because she says it shows that Brandon was showing respect to Lolo by asking permission to marry her instead of them just doing it without, consulting with Lolo. Mary tells Brandon that because he's about to be a father, he needs to control his emotions. What about you, Mary? You're the most emotionally unstable person I've ever seen. What about you? How many times have we seen Mary cry, hyperventilate, go into a full panic mode, have an asthma attack because she was crying so damn hard? To me, Brandon has always been even keel. So she says that Brandon needs to control his emotions more because he's about to be a dad. But Mary, where do you need to do better? Where do you need to fix yourself? Nowhere? Because you're Miss Perfect? Okay. So, in my personal opinion, I don't think Brandon's going to change. I don't think Mary's going to change. I think it's going to be like this until infinity. Okay. I don't think either one of these people are going to change because I don't think they have the tools. I don't think they have the tools or the maturity to be able to control themselves when it gets to that point where things are out of control. And a baby is going to add stress. Okay, a baby will test the strongest of marriages. Not just a baby, but an entire child. Raising a child and becoming parents will test the strongest of marriages, right? And I don't even know if if they're even on the same page as far as parenting this child. Like, what are their views on discipline? What are their views on, like, are they, feeding a child, is it going to be breast or bottle or both or formula, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to give your child artificial food, or is it going to be completely all, natural? All these things that go into parenting a child, are they even in agreement with anything at all? Because if one parent is like, oh, let's just let the baby cry it out, and the other parent is like, no, I got to hold my baby 24/7. That can be a conflict. That can be a problem in the marriage. So I don't even know if they're on the same page with how they're going to parent this child. I cannot wait for this baby to be born because they think that everything is going to be so hunky-dory once the baby shows up, and once they're married. Just continue living. Moving on to TJ and Kimberly. So it is day 2 of the wedding celebrations. Kimberly is upset along with her parents that nobody's telling them anything because who knows where the hell TJ's at. He's doing whatever groom ceremonies that he has to do on his own. And so people are coming up to Kimberly and her parents and making them do this and making them do that. Nobody's speaking English, or the translator's unable to translate. So they don't know why they're doing certain ceremonies. And so when they're telling them, hold your hand out and touch this and do this and hold this, they don't know why they're doing it, and they want an understanding of what they're doing in order to appreciate the ceremony. So Kimberly's getting really bothered by that, and to me, I'm like, girl, it's no big deal. Please just go with the flow. It is not a big deal. Just do what they tell you to do and ask questions later, okay? It's not a big deal, but she's getting all stressed out about it. Her parents are getting stressed out because she's stressed out, and there's no itinerary to let her know what's coming up next, what's the schedule for the day. And that's also kind of throwing her off. And she's complaining that they're just going through the motions. They're just doing all these things without any understanding of what they're doing. So TJ finally shows up, and he's having a conversation with her, and she's expressing her frustration to TJ, telling TJ, I don't know what I'm doing, and nobody's explaining to me, and this and that. And he's like, I'm sorry, but it's so complicated that the translator's not able to, officially translate what's going on. And so then they do a ceremony together, which was with the turmeric, and it was supposed to be a way of joining their two lives together. You put the turmeric from the feet of the bride to the cheeks of the groom, and it's supposed to show that they are completely like one person now. So she ended up feeling a little bit better once TJ showed up and began to explain some of the stuff that was going on. So, man, this is like the longest wedding in history, and this is only day 2. And she says they are still far away from the actual wedding day. Okay, so that is my little short review of 90 Day Fiancé. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.